Guten Tag. So this is the FWB or Feinwerkbau 603. It's quite clearly a 10-meter target rifle, and I am neither experienced nor skilled enough to give you any kind of valid information. So consider this more of a show and tell. So left-handed things in the world are either incredibly expensive or incredibly cheap because no one wants them. And fortunately this falls into the latter. So I was cruising the second-hand market locally and found this for the same price as a Daisy 880, which is insane. So I decided to pick it up, and it's amazing the difference in trigger. I have a whole section dedicated to it later, and that's basically why I'm actually showing this. Anywho, so spec wise, this is about 4.9 kilograms in weight, and you can't see it because it's going off camera, but it's 110 centimeters long. It's a single stroke pneumatic, which you can charge by just pulling this back up, lifting the handle, and when you move it to the front, you'll notice that this cocks open when you reach the front. So now the breech is open, you can actually just put your pellet in, you can close it again, and then this isn't too difficult to cock when it's in your hand. I'm not so sure about on the table. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Now, the barrel, oddly enough, so here's this little gauge that I thought. You can slide it down the front. The barrel, the opening is about a centimeter and a half. But if you go down, that's roughly 22 centimeters that the barrel actually ends from the end. So it's actually quite loud indoors, of course, at about 103 decibels. And I saw a video where a guy took a piece of PVC, drilled down the middle, put some vents down the side, and shoved it down, and it had quite a noticeable effect. So might do that eventually. Now, there's zero recoil on this, and just using the target sights, I can get almost through the same hole off a bench because, again, I'm not a professional. So, of course, everything's adjustable in every single way. I'll get to the trigger section now, and then we'll do some shooting.
Okay, to show how sensitive this trigger is, I was going to use one of my hairs, but I recently went on a year 2 of isolation shave-a-thon, so I couldn't find a long enough hair. So here's a thin piece of newspaper. A hair trigger is something that can be set off with just the touch of a hair or this piece of paper. So there's the first stage, and there was the second stage. I couldn't even feel it. And just to prove that this isn't, secretly made out of woven adamantium, yeah, it's just a flimsy piece of paper. This trigger is insane.
Alright, so as you just saw, it's quite a tight group. Okay, 11 millimeters, it's not going to win me any Olympic matches. That's more or less 2.177 pellets next to each other. As always, I can get them through the same hole normally, but when I'm filming myself, I panic. I used these pellets just because I wasn't having much difference between the ones that I have on hand. But if you were watching, you could barely see my finger move on that second stage. So I said that I got this for the same price as the Daisy 880. So the Daisy 880 is also, it's a multi-pump pneumatic rifle with a very stiff trigger. Now, there's no recoil in that. But when you pull the trigger, there's, the mechanism, there's the spring, there's the everything. And there's a bit of movement because your finger's busy pulling on the trigger. Now, I knew triggers were important, but on this one, combined with the weight of the gun, there's no recoil, there's no movement. Looking through these sights, when you hit that second stage, so first stage and then just that tiny little twitch of the second one, nothing moves. Absolutely nothing moves. You are looking where the pellet is going to go. So I'm going to start paying more attention to my trigger pulls in the future. However, it does take quite a lot of getting used to. Coming from the Daisy 880 or any other gun that I've been shooting with, even if it's a nice trigger, coming into this, your fingers used to like brute force of just caveman pull trigger. But so when you get just the first shot always just goes off. So it does require a different mindset, but yeah. Anywho, I'm rambling. This is such a nice rifle to shoot. It's easy to cock. It's accurate enough. It's more accurate than I will ever be. It's a little bit loud, but I'll see if I can do something about that. Anyway, if there's anything you want to know about this, just ping me and I'll make a follow-up. Stay safe. Bye.